The epic and unbeatable at Scrabble. The Nerds with Attitude!
So I have the regular squad today with me, and today we are talking about, we got a new segment, which this should actually be ran by Noah because this is one of his things. But you know, he's a rebel and all that jazz, and that's what he says. But we're gonna go back and talk about the Oscars, but the animated portion, not the Oscars itself, because that show is pretty boring and it's for a bunch of rich white people. even though most of the the Oscars honestly don't really mean anything, but the animation portion, that means a lot, at least to us. And we're going to 2001, and we're gonna go all the way from 2001 all the way to 2020. So it's going to be a long Oscar series of that, specifically on the animation portion. And so we're going to be talking about that. And the three movies that were nominated in 2001 was Monsters, Inc., which is a pretty decent movie, Shrek, which is another pretty decent movie, and Jimmy Neutron,
the best for last.
Before we get into that, let me introduce the squad. We got Noah, our rebel.
Why you keep saying that? You mocking me, man?
I would never.
That sounds like something a rebel would say.
I would never.
Like, we can fight. We can go.
Yeah.
Just like
you got a problem? You got a problem? Do we have a problem?
That's a lot.
The Empire stands no chance against Noah.
Do we have a problem?
All right, moving right along. We have our art guy, Isaac, also known as Artist Supreme, and you know, Old Hunter H.
Hey, everybody.
He sounded so enthused.
I'm sorry. I am like nose deep in this picture.
he is our art guy. No, he is making a brand new logo for us because we have a brand new member to introduce. You've heard him a couple of times on here. We officially became an official member. He is our sixth rancher, our guy who does machines, Donatello, Mr. J Star, JR Animus Prime. We're probably gonna put some clapping. We're probably gonna put some clapping here, like yay, and some cheering right here to introduce you and everything.
And don't forget to put in the sound effect of a goat being slaughtered. just to wrap up on that joke.
Oh man,
the true Lord of the Sith.
So we are 4 strong now, and then you know it's me, Shin the Hero, Walt. But we're 4 strong now. We're 4 strong. Now, let's get into this Oscar talk. 2001. Back to 2000. That's 19 years ago, dog.
Oh.
That is a way back. Man. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
He wasn't ready.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched all 3 of these movies. Monster Inc. was fine. Shrek didn't hold up to me back in the day from here to now. It did not hold up. And Jimmy Neutron, definitely. That was like torture to me. Watching that movie. It looked like a Home Master commercial.
It does.
I just was like, how did this get nominated?
Oh my god.
How?
I didn't even think about Home Master.
How did this get nominated? Someone please tell me why Jimmy Neutron got nominated. Was it
I don't know.
They They just needed another one?
I can tell you why.
Why? Please. Did it make a lot of money or something? But I mean, back in 2008, not 18, but 2001, it was in the top 3. I do remember that. It was in the top 3 of the year for animated movies. It was the 3rd. So I guess that's why it got nominated. But please tell me, Noah, please tell me.
I don't know why I got nominated. It could have been for real because the way it looked, it was like it's 3D, right? It's 3D animation.
It is, but at the same time, Monsters Inc. was 3D animation and Shrek.
Yeah, all 3 of them were.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why, man. There's no.
Well, I know Shrek is DreamWorks, right?
Yes.
And Monster Inc.
is Disney.
Was
Pixar? I'm sorry.
At this time? I know Disney and Pixar are homies right now. Like Disney bought Pixar because they buying up everything. They're trying to own the world. I know that now, right now. But at this time, was Pixar still its own thing, or did Disney already have them at that time?
I can't tell you. I don't know.
Hold on.
Does anybody know this?
I'm getting ready to look it up.
It's kind of muddled. At what point did Pixar became Disney? Because for me, it always seemed like they belonged to Disney.
I just know there was a certain point. There was a certain point where they weren't. There were some Pixar movies that were not Disney movies.
Disney bought Pixar in 2006 for $7.4 billion.
Okay, then at this point, Monsters Inc. is a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's go. So these are our thoughts on the nominated. Let's throw out our thoughts on these 3 movies that was nominated. Y'all heard my case, at least about Jimmy Neutron. You guys can have the floor because I'm flabbergasted about this Jimmy Neutron thing.
I think Monsters Inc. is still a nice looking movie. I grew up with Jimmy Neutron, and now that I think about it, I actually went to go see that movie in theaters.
My God.
Wow.
Dog, that was my very first. Last night was the very first time me watching this movie.
I definitely went to go see that in theaters. But I watched it, and then, looking back at it now, even the show, like this is an ugly show. This was disgusting. I can't stand the way this looks. And then, what was the third one? Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
Shrek. I don't understand how it got nominated, but after seeing all the memes, like these past couple years, I'm glad it got nominated. Because I think, in a way, if it didn't get nominated, we wouldn't have so many memes about it. And like its subsequent, sequels that we got.
There's one meme I saw. It kills me. It tickles me. Like it's one where it's it shows the guy from Cinderella. He was like, "I slayed the dragon," and then it shows the Burt guys, the How to Train Your Dragon. I trained the dragon, and then
it shows
there's another one. I forget what that one is, and it's like I became friends with a dragon or something like that. But then it shows Donkey, and there's no caption or anything. And he just
I fucked with.
Yeah, I was like, that killed me. But
you know what he did.
Yeah, that's
breaking
bizarre.
the laws of nature.
Noah, what are your thoughts on these nominated?
Shrek was a good movie when you first sit down and watch it for the first time. But after you like try to watch it again, I don't think it's that good. It's okay. Monsters Inc. is amazing still. That's still a great movie that holds up to this day. Even though the sequel sucked. But that's not here or there.
It's not a sequel though,
It's a
man.
prequel.
Yeah,
Prequel, sequel, that shit sucked.
you're not wrong.
Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. Yeah.
He sounded like a disappointed father.
I think.
Yeah, Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. Yeah, it got nominated too.
All right, Mr. JR, your thoughts?
Okay. I still hold Shrek in high regard, despite all the memes that just kind of change your perspective on it. But yeah, I still like it. Monsters Inc. is still a pretty wholesome movie. The animation's great. I think it's the first time they ever did like a furry creature with Sully. Yeah, they actually the first time they ever did that. So I think that's pretty groundbreaking. As for Jimmy Neutron, show's better. That's all I'm saying. It all has to do with the presentation. They tried to make the movie more serious than it is.
And the plot was so generic. It was so I could have swore I've seen this before. And like an asylum movie or something like that, man. It was so I felt like I was watching an asylum movie.
I don't think it was generic at the time though. Like at the time it was pretty unique.
It was the Power Rangers movie. That's what it was. The plot was the Power Rangers movie. Oh no,
but it didn't have like a boy genius who has like
you're right.
A
And
super
also
high IQ.
Yeah, they did have Billy. But but apparently Billy didn't figure out how to make roller coaster rides into spaceships where they can breathe into space without space helmets.
They joked about that in the show, but to be honest, when I saw this as a kid, I thought that part was pretty epic. And they were singing the song, "With Kids of America." Oh,
there's an NSYNC song in this. They got Dirty Pop in this.
Well, it's a product of the time, dude. The product of the time. That's all I have to say about it.
I know one of y'all was telling me the movie came out before the show.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah, it did.
Anybody who thinks otherwise is wrong.
Not gonna lie, I always thought the show came out and then it just got a movie.
Well, you were wrong.
I did not know it did the 90s, 80s thing where a movie comes out and then the movie does gangbusters and it's so popular, then it gets a show. I mean, that happened with a lot of stuff like Teen Wolf, Back to the Future, Jumanji. The list goes on. Some of those were really good cartoons, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that was news to me. But so what won? Any of y'all can guess what won out of these three?
Shrek.
Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy Neutron did not win.
Oh.
JR, you're correct. Shrek won. So, how do we feel about that? Do you think Shrek deserved and earned that Emmy? Not Emmy, but Oscar?
I would think so. Because it was pretty new. It was an original story that kind of plays the trope of the whole damsel in distress, and like it plays the trope of like what is it? Like don't judge a book by its cover. Like having
Yeah.
the ogre as the hero.
Ooh, Noah, you are buzzing over there, man.
Yeah, I was pretty distracted.
Yeah, you sound like a bee or something.
Bug zapper. You roasting mosquitoes over there?
I'm not doing nothing. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, you're good now. Like
Okay.
we were getting. I guess we were picking up something. It was like a buzzing noise or something like that. But continue, Jr.
I forgot what I was saying. Having the ogre as the protagonist was actually a pretty unique idea. Like you never see like a lot of like having the monster as the hero type movie around that time. And
True.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was a pretty good story overall.
yeah, I feel you. Yeah, when you put it out like that, yeah, it did. And the voice acting was really good too.
Oh yeah, and the comedy is pretty solid.
Yeah, that makes sense. Noah, thoughts on the what one?
On Shrek. So, did you guys know Shrek is based off a book?
Really?
I
Yeah,
would assume so.
yeah, they got the whole idea from this book. I like Shrek. I have nothing.
Is it a children's book?
Yes, I don't know. I just know it's based off a book.
Wow, I did not know that.
It's one of those random. Yeah, it's one of those random things I know.
Are you sure it's based off a book and not just like the book that you see in the very beginning of the movie?
No. It's based off an actual book. Man. I don't know if the other ones, like the sequels, are based off a book, but I know the first one.
I would assume not.
Is based off a book. Listen, Shrek is one of those movies I've seen a million times. I had this movie on VHS, and my sisters loved it. And when we was kids, they used to put it on every night. And I hate it now.
Yeah, wow.
It was published in 1990.
I just saw it.
And I hate Shrek now. I like Shrek, but I hate it now. I never want to watch it again. I hate all the memes.
No.
I'm just over it. Shrek. I'm over it.
But Noah, somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I'm still in this shit.
My God.
That's the one time he made her funny.
That's not the one time.
Well, usually he's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Guys, I'm done. And that just killed it. And
Isaac.
You can't see it, but I have the shape of an L on my forehead.
Isaac, your thoughts on what?
Well, I think Shrek deserved it. Shrek was a pretty good movie. It was funny. I remember the humor being a little bit more adult than I was allowed to see at the time.
Man, you sound very muffled right now.
Do I really?
Yeah, you sound like Bane.
Oh yes.
I'm not. Damn it, JR.
You sound real muffled right now. I don't know if
he sounds more far away than.
Yeah, that too.
Because I have to use my speaker because my headphones died.
How do your headphones die? You gotta charge them or something?
Yeah, they're charging right now.
Mine. Yeah, I gotta charge them.
Y'all just don't do this with wired headphones, man.
Yeah,
unprofessional.
It hasn't been a problem until now.
Do you know how many times my headphones kept like coming off my head because of wires? Because I always like move my arm to where the wires are, and my headphones like yank my head along with me.
Well,
no, thank you.
A fun fact: you're supposed to put it on your back. The wire is supposed to be on your back.
Well, la di da.
Anyway, Isaac, continue on your
And
thought.
that brings us to our sponsored segment, sponsored by Raycon headphones.
we are not. We are not sponsored. We are not sponsored. I hope we get sponsored. I do have some. I do have some Raycons though. They are nice. That's all I would say. But Isaac, please continue.
I think Shrek is a great movie. Even now, it looks bizarre at some points, but it's still funny. I, for one, love the memes of this movie, of every movie that followed afterwards. But I think it deserved it. I think it was pretty great.
Is that it? Is that all?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much else about Shrek.
Till there ain't no Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
One question.
is
One question.
definitely.
Question.
Yeah.
Is Shrek love?
I hate you. I hate you.
Man, y'all are just killing it right now with these things.
Look,
And this is why I hate Shrek.
Bring up Shrek.
I'm here all week.
Y'all are killing it.
I'm glad to be here.
Well, I didn't think it should have won, which is gonna go into our segue of what you should have thought won. And I don't think Shrek should have won. I honestly feel like Monsters Inc. should have won. I feel like it's a far superior movie than Shrek is. I like the story. It makes me feel good. The little girl is adorable. I like the friendship between Mike and damn it, what's Kitty's name? That's what the little girl calls him.
Sullivan.
Sullivan. There we go. Sully. Yeah. Yeah. I like their friendship and their dynamic. They like legit friends. They might be monsters, but they're like legit friends. They have arguments and whatnot. And then Mike seems like the everyday regular guy, and he had Medusa for a girlfriend. Man, you can't beat that, man. And it had the jokes in there, and then the monsters world building, like the monster world, was pretty dope. How they get their electricity and everything works on kids' screams, and then you later find out that the laughing is way better. And then it opens with Sully as the number one monster. Like it had everything you could have asked for. And I mean, obviously Monsters Inc. and Shrek multiple times, but I would pick Monsters Inc. over Shrek every single day. And it's like at the peak of Pixar's because like everything Pixar was pulling out at that time was dope. It was good. And I get, like I said, I get why Shrek won, and I feel you guys on what you guys were saying about Shrek and everything, but I 1000% feel like Monster Inc. got robbed, and it should have been it should have won.
You know, Walt, I 100% agree with you. I would have Monsters Inc. is such a better movie than Shrek. Fuck Shrek.
Wow.
Monsters Inc. Was a masterpiece. Like,
yeah, it's been my top 3 favorite Pixar movies.
Yeah, man,
pretty good.
I enjoy Monsters Inc.
And even the ending, like Sully was Sullivan, and then Mike put together the door that was shredded.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so
for his homie to see the little girl that changed that man's life. And then we don't get to see, they tease us because we don't know how much time had passed through there, but we got to figure she either is an adult or is a teenager, and she remembered that man because like in a different, like it sounded like she was older, and she says it's Kitty, and I just like, man, they could have did so much for a sequel, but we get Monsters University. That's another story for another time. But like let's go around this round table of ours around what you guys think should have won, or are you sticking to your guns and you think Shrek is the one true all winner of the 2001 Oscar?
I already said Monsters Inc.
Yeah, I got you. Don't all go at once, guys.
Okay.
I think honestly, I could have gone either way because I like Monsters Inc. as well, and I like Shrek. So as long as we're all in agreement that Jimmy Neutron should not have won, or should not have gotten nominated in the first place.
Okay, I begrudgingly agree with that one.
Yeah.
Jimmy Neutron still holds a special place in my heart because I watched it in the theaters, and I remember getting like the promotional toys that they what restaurant did they have the toys in?
Was it McDonald's or Burger King?
I think it was Burger King. Yeah, it was Burger King. I remember getting the Goddard toy from Burger King, and it was fun. Show's better, but
What do you think should have won, JR, though? Do you think Shrek deserves it, or do you think either Jimmy Neutron or Monsters Inc. should have won?
I think Atlantis should have won.
We will get to that.
I'm sorry. Well, okay, sorry.
We're
I'm ahead of
focusing on
myself.
what was nominated. Yes, you are.
I'm ahead of myself. Sorry. Crap.
Because spoiler
Pixar
alert, I
is
agree with you.
Yeah. Pixar has already been like laying out banger after banger, so of course Shrek would have came in and you would have like a break of all of that. So I would think that Shrek would have still won regardless.
Okay. Well, moving all right along into what you think should have been nominated. Now, we did a little research before we did this. We pulled up all the animated movies that happened to air during the 2001 era. There is a movie that was a little movie called Spirited Away that did actually. Now that I'm looking at this, Jimmy Neutron was in the number 5 rank of the worldwide grossing for 2001. It was Monsters Inc. number 1, Shrek number 2, Spirited Away number 3, number 4 is Atlantis, The Lost Empire, and number 5 was Jimmy Neutron. So a lot of people probably would, when I say Spirited Away, would hear like, "Yo, man, that's a Ghibli movie, man. Why wasn't that nominated?" That's the same thing I asked. However, I remember Spirited Away did come out in 2001, but it came out in Japan in 2001.
Right.
It does get nominated the next year when we actually get it to the US theaters. So that's why Spirited Away wasn't nominated. However, like I said, we did look at the list of the 2001 movies, and allow me to read off the top 10. Like I said, at 5 was Jimmy Neutron. Number 6 was Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Totally forgot about that. Number 7 was Pokemon 3, the movie. Number 8 was Recess School's Out. Number 9 was Doraemon. It's a Japanese, very old Japanese anime. And then number 2 was actually the Digimon movie, The Revenge of Doraemon. But we got that as in English because the Digimon movie in English is actually 2 movies. The second half is this movie that got grossed in number 10. But I will leave it at the floor. Like out of the list, not just that top 10 I just read, because those were just like the notable movies that I wanted to put out there. But out of the list of the 2001 animated movies, I personally feel like this is why I had asked at the beginning of the show why if Pixar and Disney were separated in 2001, and I personally feel like Atlantis should have been nominated. It should have been up there with the three. So it should have been at least 4 nominations. But I will give the floor.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
To you guys, yeah.
If you think Atlantis should have been nominated, do you think it should have won over Monsters Inc?
Over Monsters Inc?
Yeah, you said you think Monster Inc should have won over Shrek.
I did.
If Atlantis was nominated with the other 3, do you think it would have beat Monsters Inc?
Moving my bias aside for Atlantis because I know it's not a highly regarded Disney movie. It's actually one of those underrated, and I love Atlantis. The animation was so good in Atlantis. The story was great and everything. But I, taking my bias aside and everything, I still would say Monsters Inc. would have won. I still would say that. Taking my biases aside and everything, I still would say that would win. Monsters Inc. would still win. But I would at least still be happy that Atlantis was at least nominated because it's still a good movie.
Yeah, okay.
That was deserved. It should have been deserved to be up there nominated. I mean, it was higher than Jimmy Neutron. Again, I don't know why Jimmy Neutron was nominated. But yeah.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
But Keita, she can get it. Just saying.
Yeah.
I hate you so much. Why does it always end like that for you?
I'm just saying. Well, let's go down.
Completely agree.
Let's go down this round table of the squad. Let's go with Noah first. What do you think should have been nominated?
I agree with you on Atlantis. I think it should have been nominated. I don't think it would have beat Monsters Inc., but Atlantis should have been nominated for sure.
Any other animated movies you think should have been nominated?
Yeah. My mother brought me Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Really?
On VHS. On VHS when I was a kid, and I remember to this day, it scared the living shit out of me.
Really?
Because every time the spirits would kill one of them, you just see their souls get lifted up. I'm like, wow, goddamn. And that movie just holds a special.
I remember seeing that in theaters.
It was really
I saw that in theaters, and when the movie's in like halfway through the movie, I was like, "Where's Cloud?"
I don't know why. I think it's one of those things they just put Final Fantasy in it just to sell the movie, but I don't think it would have won either. I just think it should have been nominated. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad movie.
I don't remember too much about it, but
yeah, I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't know why it's called Final Fantasy.
It's in the universe. It is.
Yeah, I did enjoy Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Then they have one more movie I think that should have been nominated, even though it's not fully animated.
Is it VeggieTales? Lyle, the Kinley Viking?
Absolutely not.
No, it's not.
It's not fully animated. Some of its parts. It's animated and it has live action. But I think
Osmosis Jones.
Osmosis Jones. Yeah. I am.
Yeah, I got you.
I am talking about the animation. I just wanted to give it the animation part. The animation part was really good.
Wasn't Who Framed Roger Rabbit nominated?
No.
I don't think so.
I only know where that came from. No.
Yeah, because that's similar to what that is, and I feel you. I get
really.
It's the same thing with animated. It got animated characters in it. Where
No, it's
and it
like
got
animated. In Roger Rabbit, it's animated characters interacting with live action characters. And here it's just like animated characters in their own animated world while the
they
humans
kind
are
of
in their own live
towards
action world.
the end of the movie when they get rid of the virus dude. Like it goes into like real life thing because look, I think they're like in his mouth or something like that.
Yeah,
Even
no,
the
they
mouth
in
was
the,
animated.
yeah, they was you talking about when they got into the his daughter's eyeball and they was fighting?
Yeah. Like because it
That
was
whole
going
thing was
back and forth.
animated.
It was going back. I like look. Hey, I'm gonna just have to take your word on that because I haven't seen Moses Jones in a hot minute.
Man.
But I do know it got an animated cartoon. Like brings me back.
Yeah.
Like I think if the whole movie was animated, I think it would have been like so much greater than what it is now. It's just
It's
movie.
Basically Inside Out. It's a
no, don't get me
No,
started.
not real. No.
Don't get me started
No.
Inside Out.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is the animation part needs to. I just want to give credit to the animation part of
yeah. I feel you.
I just wanted to give it credit.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I just feel like it's. I get y'all saying with the animation part, and the animation is great. It is very great. And Chris Rock did a great job voicing old Moses and all that jazz. But I can't say that's an animated movie.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't. I just want to give the animation part is just due because I think people slept on the animation part. The whole movie, if the whole movie was animated, I think it would have been so much better.
I think it is. It's labeled as a animated thing.
Yeah, it's labeled as a.
It mostly revolves around that animated world.
Yeah, it's just, I think it deserves
The live action segments are just a subplot, or it is part of the plot, but it's like secondary to the animated.
They should the whole movie should have been animated, but I just wanted to give Osmosis Jones its credit it deserves because people think it sucks, but
no, they just think it's gross.
Which
it is to be fair, but it is pretty awesome.
I thought it was dope.
I mean, all the anime people who like red blood cells, how cells work, Osmosis Jones did it first. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And they made them cute.
But
I don't know how they made it cute, but they made it cute.
JR, what do you think should have been nominated?
I am a 2D animation fan, so of course it's going to be Atlantis, The Lost Empire. Like it's basically Avatar before it became a thing, like before James Cameron's era.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
I 100% agree with that. Yeah,
except they made it based on like a mythological city instead of like an alien world, which makes it appeal more. Well, I guess nah, I don't want to talk about Avatar right now. But the animation's great, the voice acting is great, the story's pretty decent, and I just love everything about it. It's so underrated it hurts. But it was only because like around this time, like the 2D animated films were slowly dying off. Like they were just making way for the 3D stuff. And like you could see that they're all 3D movies. It can't be a coincidence.
You are correct, sir. You are correct.
So
I throw the question that Noah had threw at me. Do you think Atlantis would have won? Or you think Shrek would still reign supreme?
I'm too biased for
throwing your bias aside. I said,
yeah. Well, like I said, the 2D was slowly dying off from them from the movies, so they have to make way for like the new fresh blood. So of course it would have to be either like Pixar or DreamWorks. So yeah, it wouldn't really change anything, no matter how good Atlantis was.
You got any others that you think should have been nominated?
I was gonna say Osmosis Jones, but then you made the argument where it's not fully animated, and I would agree with that. But Osmosis Jones, it did something unique. Like they made like personifications of like um, the cells inside the body, like how it would be like inside a human body. So yeah, it was pretty unique, despite it being like heavily grotesque, especially that pimple scene.
Oh yeah, that pimple scene always gets me every time I watch that though.
Yeah, I hate it.
All right, Isaac. Anything you think should have been nominated?
Well, obviously, Atlantis. So I love Atlantis. But another one would be the Cowboy Bebop movie.
You are
Knocking
correct,
on
sir.
Heaven's Door.
You are correct.
I would assume that would be the case, but I never watched the movie. I watched the show, and it's been forever since I've watched the show, so I don't remember most of what happens in there.
The movie stands alone. I mean, like if you want to be technical about it, the movie happens between episode 24 and 25. But like the movie is basically its own thing. You don't have to know anything about Cowboy Bebop to watch it. And I actually own it. I actually own it on DVD. So
Okay.
not on Blu-ray too. So the movie is really good.
Technically, the movie came out in the USA 2002.
Yes, you are correct. It did.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
this is a Japanese one where
Yeah.
it aired, and so that's probably why also. But at the same time, if it wasn't a Ghibli film, no anime movie was gonna get nominated.
Very true.
Back then, not back then anyway. Nowadays, I could see something like Your Name or something like that getting nominated. But no, I just not back in that day. No, I don't think anything like that is getting nominated for the Oscar.
This was the first year they did do it.
Oh yeah, this where they got the animated thing.
Yeah, because before they used to just give like animated movies just their own award. Like Toy Story 1 got its own award for being good, but that's it.
Yeah, because I know Cinderella wasn't Cinderella the first animated movie that actually won Best Picture that year?
I thought it was Snow White.
Or was it Snow White? They both of those white ladies look alike.
One of them's blonde.
They look alike, man.
They're still both white. So
No, that Snow White didn't win. Snow White got one of those awards they just gave for it being good.
Or being the first.
Yeah,
Like the first animated film.
Snow White got a participation award.
I would assume that would be the case.
The only animated film that got nominated for Best Picture was Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast was the one.
That's what.
Was that the one that won that year?
It didn't win, but it was nominated.
Oh, yeah. I thought there was an animated movie that won Best Picture that year.
I think it was later down the line.
Was it?
I don't remember. I don't remember which one it was though.
Well, and with that's everything I have. I mean, if anybody else wants to say anything else about these 2001 that throwback Oscars, please.
The Oscars are a joke.
Jimmy Neutron is a masterpiece.
I hate you.
The Oscars are bullshit.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Except for the one time they awarded Into the Spider-Verse award.
Oh my
Okay,
God! I
will fault them for that. They
cannot
know
wait.
Not there
I
yet, guys.
cannot wait
Okay.
till we get to that year.
I know
Oh,
it.
That's the
God.
only time they've actually been good.
I don't want to. We're not there yet, guys.
Well,
We're not there.
please join us next time, and when we go back into the Wayback Machine to 2002.